The queen who won the lip sync was Yurio. Congratulations, you're still in the race.
Yurio lets out a sigh of relief. He gives the judges a sharp nod.
Spasibo, judges. This was not how I wanted to start this competition. It is time to refocus.
Yurio, you may now head to the back of the stage. Yuri Katsuki, you may be our pork cutlet queen, but keep serving your drag hot and delicious.
The other queens, including Yuri, share a small laugh. Koopa can be seen holding back tears. Yuri puts on a smile and tries to hold back tears.
I want to thank you, Ash and Yu-Gi-Oh! I've worked so hard to be here, and even though it was short, this has meant the world to me. I'm so excited for the world to see my drag. I work hard at everything I do, and I know in the end, that's what pays off. I wish I had a chance to show you more, but for now.
Yuri takes 2 steps back and takes his stance.
Sashay away? No, I don't think so. Instead, I triple axel.
The queens laugh and Yuri begins to twirl towards the back of the stage. The other queens walk towards Yuri, but before they can reach him, Ash begins to speak.
Wait, Yuri, stop.
Yuri stops in the middle of his twirl and looks nervously towards the judges. The other queens freeze and look at each other, confused.
I was thinking, first week, everyone slays the talent show, shows us fierce drag, and then we get an amazing first lip sync. Gosh, it just doesn't seem fair to send someone home when they've barely had the chance to show what they can do. What do you think, Yu-Gi-Oh?
Ash, I couldn't agree more. Great quip about Yuri being the pork cutlet queen. Yuri, if I were you, I would take that one to the bank. Well, shall we say it together? Yuri Katsuki, Shantae, you also stay. The other queens begin to cheer and Koopa goes over to embrace Yuri. Junta pats Yuri on the back and Olivier gives him a warm smile. Ash then begins to speak again.
But queens, no more Mr. Nice Guys. Next week, someone will be going home. So bring your best drag if you want to do well in the competition.
The queens enter untucked and take a mocktail each. At the request of several queens, non-alcoholic drinks are provided to the queens. The queens take their drinks, provided by Hanake Couture. That's Hanake Couture, demonstrating excellence one mocktail at a time. The queens all take a seat. Yurio is scowling at Koopa and Yuri is crying tears of joy. Esdeath interrupts the silence by congratulating Yuri and Yurio for surviving the lip sync. Her gaze ends on Yuri and she says she was very impressed by his lip syncing skills.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that from Esdeath. I'm unsure why she is giving me a compliment when she said I would be the pork cutlet queen.
What can I say, world? He surprised me. I'm not afraid to admit when I've underestimated someone.
Yuri thanks Esdeath. Junta asks Esdeath why she is being so congenial. Esdeath says she isn't being congenial. She explains that she says it how she sees it, and both Yuri and Yurio had a great lip sync, and for that, they should be congratulated. Olivier nods her head. Yurio's leg begins shaking furiously. Junta, sensing Yurio's energy, congratulates him on serving in the lip sync and asks him how he is feeling. Yurio's emotions seem to explode out of him and he stands up from his couch. He points his finger at Koopa and says that Koopa has some nerve cheering for Yuri to win the lip sync. Koopa makes a panicked noise and blurts out that she wasn't choosing favorites, she was just giving Yuri some encouragement because he seemed so stressed in the workroom. Yurio tells Koopa that taking favorites is poor sportsmanship and she should be ashamed of herself. General Esdeath stands up and tells Yurio that's enough. Yurio's snarl deepens, but before things can escalate, Tetsumi steps in. He steps in front of Yurio and says, "Bro, you've got to calm down," before escorting him out of the untucked lounge.
By Bowser! I really wasn't trying to choose favorites. I just wanted to give Yuri some encouragement. I'm sorry if I upset you, Yurio. I really didn't mean to.
That yellow dinosaur is menace. She may be nice on the outside, but I don't trust it. She wanted me to lose, and I'm not sorry for calling her out.
The queens rally around Koopa and ask if she is okay. She begins to sob and explains that she didn't mean anything by her comment. Olivier reassures her that Yurio is probably just feeling shaken after being in the bottom and that she didn't do anything wrong. Junta sees Esdeath roll her eyes and gives her a glare.
Look, I don't mean to be insensitive about it, but Koopa needs to harden up. Does it matter if Yurio is feeling some type of way? If you're going to cheer for your friend, stand by your decision. And, of course, Olivier, savior of the drag queens, steps in to make Koopa feel better.
Being around Esdeath just gives me a throbbing headache. 1 minute she's doing the congenial thing and praising Yuri. The next she's rolling her eyes at Koopa. God, she is insufferable.
Production. Can I guess something? Did Junta say in a confessional something about me rolling my eyes? He did. Wow, I called it. Hilarious. Sorry you're pressed, Junta, but I'm going to be here all season, so you better buckle up.
Elsewhere, Yurio gets some space from the others. Tatsumi asks if he can join him, to which Yurio shrugs his shoulders. Tatsumi asks if he is okay and Yurio shrugs his shoulders again. Tatsumi clasps him on the shoulder and says people are always jealous of natural talent and that Tatsumi knows from experience. He tells Yurio to give it no mind and to ignore the haters. Yurio gives him a half-cocked smile and Tatsumi puts out a fist. Yurio raises an eyebrow and then fist bumps Tatsumi.
Honestly, I feel for Yurio. He's in the bottom day one and another queen is cheering for his opponent. I'd be upset too. I'm hoping I can help him get out of his feelings because I've got a sense that he's a natural talent just like me. Oh, I've just had an idea of what I could call us. We are both proteges and bros. So, I guess that makes us broteges. Absolutely iconic. I've done it again.
Tatsumi seems okay. He's right. People never root for me because I'm never the underdog. I pick things up quickly, and people are threatened by that. But me losing it at Koopa won't make me any friends. Tatsumi is right. I need to move on.
Back in Untucked, the shock seems to have worn off for Koopa. The queens cheers to surviving the first week and go back to their hotel rooms. It's the next morning and the queens enter into the workroom, doing the Charlie's Angel poses. The queens gather around the work table and there is a buzz of excitement in the air.
It's a new day in the workroom, and I feel fantastic. There's a mystery that needs solving. Oh, and I also got a win last week, which was great too. But I spent half the night awake thinking about the sabotage of Esdeath's dress. I concluded that the motive is pretty straightforward. She's tough competition and someone wanted to hamstring her. But who?
The queens begin to chat about the talent show. The queens congratulate Mewtwo and Aomin for placing high and L for winning the challenge. L thanks the queens and tells them he's humbled to have won the first challenge. L then asks Esdeath how she felt about the challenge and the sabotage of her dress. Esdeath calmly explains that it was not the ideal start to her drag race experience and that she was unable to put aside her anger about the sabotage. Esdeath says that she will find out who sabotaged her and that she will be more forgiving if the culprit comes forward now. An awkward silence fills the room.
I've deduced that some queens can be ruled out. Olivier seems too honorable, Kay too passive, Junta too by the book, and Yuri too anxious. Aomin doesn't seem the type, and Yurio will say it to your face if he doesn't like you, not slash your dress. So that leaves a few suspects. It could be Daijin, as he likes to stir the pot. While he could have clawed the dress, the cuts were cleaner than I would expect for claws. Koopa is an interesting one. She seems good-natured, though does work for Bowser, a warlord who has invaded Mushroom Kingdom repeatedly to impose a totalitarian regime on its people.
Do you think you might be a bit obsessed with solving this mystery?
No, not at all. So anyway, Mewtwo is another potential suspect. We know Mewtwo did something to upset Olivier, who is a very honorable queen. Did they sabotage a competition they competed in? Definitely warrants investigation. Then there's my number one suspect, Tatsumi. We know that Tatsumi and Esdeath have history. Tatsumi is quite confident, except when Esdeath is around where he seems to get a little bit anxious and submissive. I think he's afraid of her, and no doubt thinks she's a threat to his game. Plus he's a swordsman and the cuts were clean. He's one to watch. Oh, and I ruled myself out, unless I was somehow mind-controlled to sabotage the dress. That would be hilarious. Wait, can Mewtwo do that? Maybe there are more variables than I thought.
I believe that was the longest confessional in cartoon drag race history.
Okay, fine, I may be a little obsessed.
When no one comes forward to take responsibility for sabotaging Esdeath's dress, Esdeath says very well, and that when she finds out who sabotaged her, she will destroy them. Tatsumi's confidence cracks for a moment, Koopa recoils and Yuri bites his lip. Just then, the screen turns on and Yu-Gi-Oh introduces the mini-challenge. Konnichiwa Queens, well done for surviving your first week. Both Ash and I love and respect our diverse cast of queens. Speaking of love, your mini-challenge today is to sell us your version of love. You will have 60 seconds to serve either eros, a sensual, passionate love, or agape, a pure, innocent love to make the judges swoon. You now have 10 minutes to get into quick drag. Good luck and don't fuck it up.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate Yu-Gi-Oh's workroom look? Apparently we won't be needing the pit crew this season.
The queens scramble to get into quick drag. Aomin begins to undress and Kei gives him a sideways glance every few seconds, taking care only to look for a moment. Aomin puts on some tight jeans, takes off his shirt and then begins to take off his singlet.
I've decided to go down an Eros route. While I know that I need to show the judges versatility, this challenge was made for me. I'm confident with my body and how I present it, and I know the judges will eat it up.
Aomin makes it seem like his singlet is stuck and asks Kei if he could come over and help him take it off. Kei is unable to respond for a moment, but comes over to help Aomin. Aomin thanks Kei and comments that Kei's done a great job to get his makeup done so quickly and that the red dress and blonde hair really suits him. Kei's face goes flush and he stammers a thank you.
Oh my god. I might have to move workstations. Aomin is so attractive and he keeps asking me for help with this and that. I can't think straight around him. I felt a 1000-volt surge go through me when I accidentally touched his chest.
Was it really accidental?
What? Yes, of course it was. Can we start the mini challenge?
The queens all gather for the mini challenge. Esdeath, Tatsumi, Aomin, Mewtwo, Daijin and Yuri serve Eros. They attempt to serve sex on legs. Esdeath uses her sultry voice and a generous breastplate to make love to her audience while Aomin moves his body and serves sheer charisma. Yuri surprises the judges, drawing on his figure skating skills to roll his body to music in a seductive manner. Yurio, Olivier, L, Koopa, Junta and Kei serve agape, which is their unconditional love. Junta plays the pretty boy J-pop idol who loves his fans, while Yurio subverts the judges' expectations by playing the innocent young man looking for pure love.
Wow, you sure convinced us you were looking for love. Amazing work, queens. While we loved everyone's agape, one queen's Eros really had us hot and bothered. Aomin, you're the winner of this mini challenge.
Naturally. Thanks, Ash.
But Yurio, great work in the mini challenge. I loved seeing you take the unexpected route. Subverting our expectations is a great way to get our attention.
I took a risk and it paid off. I feel good about it.
Now, for today's Maxi Challenge, in pairs you'll need to create an advert selling us a common household object. Make sure to compel us to buy this item, but also remember to make us laugh. Aomin, as the winner of the mini challenge you will choose the pairs and choose the item you wish to sell.
Wonderful. Now, do I play this fair or do I give the queens a challenge?
Aomin, your common household items are this plunger from the basement of a Pokemon Center. This scarab that Yu-Gi-Oh found in a gift shop in Egypt. This wall clock with a Snorlax in the middle of it. A purple luxury pillow. This single vanilla candle. And an unused Pokeball. Feel free to razzle and bedazzle your item with rhinestones, glitter and desperation if you think it will make your item sell.
Well, I'll give Ash and Yu-Gi-Oh credit. This is going to be a challenge. Bring it on.
Now, Aomin, it's time to decide who you want to pair up and which item each pair will receive.
Thanks, Ash. Well, for myself, I think I will pick Kei.
Right. Okay. I'm screwed. There's no way I'll be able to focus.
I actually don't know why I chose Kei. Thinking about it logically, I don't think he's the strongest queen. But I said it before I could stop myself. I'm not really sure why.
Look, I'll be honest. I figured I would be the logical first choice. Aomin and I would have been unstoppable together. But I figure he wants to pair me with someone fierce, so I'm okay with it.
Interesting pairing. Which item do you choose?
Thanks, Ash. We'll take the plunger.
The plunger is all yours. Who is the next pair?
It's the moment of truth. Will he make these queens suffer? Oh, do it, Aomin. Give in to the dark side.
I think I'll start by pairing Junta with Esdeath.
What in the fresh hell? You've got to be kidding me.
Wow. Aomin, that was very shady. But I do look forward to seeing Junta squirm. Don't worry, I will make him look good, though my foot will be on his neck the whole time.
Another interesting choice. And what item will you give them?
The clock with a Snorlax in the middle.
Junta stiffens and collects the clock. He goes to stand next to Esdeath and gives her some side eye. Esdeath just grins.
Well, 2 pairs down. Who do you choose next?
Well, let's see. Ash, I think there are many queens here who would benefit from being challenged. So I'm thinking I'll give the used pillow to Olivier and Mewtwo.
Mewtwo will remember this.
Right. I see some queens didn't come to play fair.
Wow, Almin, you really want to start drama in the workroom. Okay, who's next?
Almin takes a moment to evaluate the other queens.
Well, as the winner of the last episode and the pork cutlet queen, I think I will pair Elle and Yuri together and give them the scarab.
I'm not sure if Almin was trying to sabotage me as the winner of last week with a queen in the bottom 2, but I'm actually really happy with this pairing. Yuri has a good energy, and the scarab beetle is by far the nicest item.
I'm not really sure what Omen's doing. I did expect to be paired before now, but maybe Omen is just saving the best till last.
An interesting pairing. Who is next?
Tetsumi, Daijin, I have a feeling you're a good match. I'll put you together and give you the unused Pokeball.
Tatsumi is totally delusional, so it shouldn't be hard to outdo him in our scene. I expect I'll be in the top this week.
Look, I've never worked with a cat before, but Daijin seems pretty fierce. I was hoping to be paired with my protege, Yurio, but I can make this work.
Another unexpected pairing. Oh my, that means you're pairing Yurio with Koopa and giving them the vanilla-scented candle.
Despicable.
Oh no! Being paired with Yurio after what happened in Untucked has got me shaking. I'm sure Yurio's a professional though, and will do great. I just have to stay positive.
Wow, you really want to torpedo this episode, don't you, Almin? That couldn't have been much more shady if you tried. Well, queens, you better get started on your commercials and remember, whatever you do, do not fuck it up. Good luck, queens.
The queens disperse and begin working on their commercials. Esdeath and Junta put the clock with a Snorlax in front of them. Esdeath says she is happy with the clock and comments that perhaps they should sell their item as a clock designed for sleep, which could connect the Snorlax with their concept. Junta nods in agreement and says that the clock should probably help put people to sleep, which is perfect for people with insomnia. Esdeath nods approvingly.
Look, she may be one of the most annoying queens here, but we have settled into a groove. I think our concept is strong.
Junta has added some strong ideas. His instincts are good. I feel confident in this pairing.
Elsewhere in the workroom, Olivier and Mewtwo are sitting at a table together. Mewtwo is looking at the used pillow with disdain. Olivier starts writing down some ideas in silence.
I'm looking over at Olivier and Mewtwo, and they're being very quiet. They both showed us what amazing queens they are in week 1, so I'm a bit surprised to see them struggling.
Mewtwo asks Olivier what ideas she's got. Olivier says that given it's a luxury pillow, perhaps they should take an opulence route, playing socialites or an extremely vain archetype. Mewtwo comments that idea isn't the funniest, but they can't think of a better one. Olivier looks visibly irritated.
Well, Mewtwo, I'm glad you don't like my idea. How about you contribute one of your own, instead of pouting at our luxury pillow?
Mewtwo comments that perhaps a funny line to close their commercial could be, "One night with this pillow, and you'll be serving well-rested, well-blessed, and zero stress." Olivier bites her lip and cringes. Mewtwo rolls their eyes.
Okay, I'm compromising on your idea, and you're ready to shoot down my first suggestion. Professional, as always.
Olivier comments that she's sure Mewtwo's line can fit into the commercial, though maybe it shouldn't be the final line to the commercial. Mewtwo takes a sharp breath and asks Olivier if they've got any jokes for the bit. Olivier says that she's got a few written down but that she's going to need a bit more time to come up with the jokes. Mewtwo says that perhaps they should write down some jokes independently and then compare later.
You could cut the tension with a knife. Oh, how I love to see it. I wish sometimes I didn't have to eat, that I could be sustained simply by witnessing drama unfolding in front of me.
Elsewhere in the workroom, Koopa and Yurio are attempting to write the script for their vanilla-scented candle. Koopa appears visibly tense. Yurio tells Koopa that he is still holding a grudge, though needs to do well in the challenge. He says that they will likely be judged as teams, so, for now, he needs Koopa to do well so that he is able to get a win. Kupa apologizes again to Yurio, though starts to relax. She starts throwing out idea after idea and Yurio, taken aback, keeps saying, "Niet." Yurio appears to be getting progressively more frustrated. Eventually, he stops Kupa, telling her that her ideas don't make sense and that she needs to give him a moment to think. Kupa, taken aback, begins to recede into her shell.
Dinosaur has many ideas. None good.
Yurio looks at Kupa flatly and takes a deep breath. He tells Kupa to write down all of her ideas and they can look them over together and see which ones might work.
I can tell Yurio is still upset with me, but it was really nice of him to consider my ideas. After I wrote them all down, we looked them over, and he pointed to a few that he thought were funny. We decided that Yurio would play a character who was always grumpy from work and never had any fun. Then, I appear in the scene and explain that no one can stay grumpy when they are hit with the smell of a fresh vanilla candle. I'm not sure it was the perfect idea, but I think we did okay.
Okay, Dinosaur had some good ideas. Me playing the grumpy guy. Playing to our strengths.
Aomin and Kei are bouncing ideas off each other. Kei is writing down furiously as he and Aomin come up with jokes for their plunger. Kei seems engaged in coming up with ideas and suggests that perhaps their characters should play cleaners and have jokes about going in deep and liquid, spraying everywhere. Aomin lets out a hearty chuckle and says that's perfect, it's the sort of stupid humor the judges will love.
Wow, things are going surprisingly well. Aomin loves my ideas and it's easy to riff off him. I'm usually a lot more reserved, but being around him feels easy. Plus, I think I'm trying to impress him. And I think it's working.
Initially, I thought Kei was a pretty average drag queen. Though he's quite witty and has come up with some real zingers. I'm actually having a great time riffing off him. It feels like we've been friends for years.
Aomin cracks a joke and Kei smiles and lets out a laugh. Kei grabs his sides as he continues to laugh, trying to breathe. Aomin cracks another joke and Kei begins to howl with laughter. Eventually, Kei stops laughing and comments that his sides are hurting from all the laughter. Kei puts a hand on the table to steady himself and accidentally brushes Aomin's hand. The two look at each other for a moment and pull back quickly, going back to writing. The queens are then called onto set and begin filming their commercials. Yu-Gi-Oh oversees the commercials and provides direction and feedback to the queens. The queens take it in turns to film their commercial.
Wow, this week did not go how I expected. Aomin and Kei's commercial was hysterical. It was absolutely filthy, but in the best way possible. Even Yu-Gi-Oh was holding back laughter. Yuri and Elle also had a great performance. They played incompetent archaeologists who stumbled across a valuable treasure and kept accidentally avoiding traps in the temple. They really hammed up the slapstick, and they had these stupid, over-the-top British archaeologist voices. Either Yuri is settling into the competition or Elle was a calming influence this week. As for me and Esdeath, I think we did well, but, and I won't say it to her face, she did upstage me in our skit. Damn, she is charismatic. We need her out soon.
Naturally, I had a great performance this week. Being with Tatsumi was great because he has absolutely no insight. He did fine, but thought he absolutely slayed the challenge. It's so great watching him because he's going to get humbled and fall apart. I can't wait to see it. Speaking of falling apart, Olivier and Mew too. What a disaster. Both amazing queens, but they clearly hate each other. And it showed. The whole set was tense watching their performance. If only I could bottle the tension. Delicious.
I don't know what happened. We finally agreed on an idea before filming our commercial, but the entire time we were on set, Mewtwo seemed annoyed, and that really ticked me off. The longer we acted, the more annoyed we got with each other, and I think that energy infected our performance. Damn. Better learn the lip sync song.
It was bad. I'm under no illusions. Our only hope is that Yurio and Kupa end up in the bottom as their performance wasn't great. But even though they had less punchy lines, they worked surprisingly well together. We're going to be read by the judges for poor collaboration. Maybe I need to sort things out with Olivier so this doesn't happen again.
Yu-Gi-Oh tells the queens it's a wrap and that they need to get ready for the runway. Despite the limited time before the runway, Elle moves around the workroom, applying his makeup as he goes. He goes over to talk to Daijin. He asks Daijin how his preparation for the runway is going. Daijin says it is going well, but his answers appear coy and reserved.
Elle coming over to chat to me out of the blue. Suspicious. My feline senses are tingling.
L says he thought Daijin was great in the challenge and Daijin thanks him. Daijin says L was good too and must feel great already having a win. L says it is nice, but that he feels really bad for Esdeath, who didn't really get a fair chance to represent herself in the first week due to the sabotage. Daijin nods. L asks if Daijin saw anything suspicious as he and Junta were working close to Esdeath's table. Daijin says he did not and was more focused on preparing for his talent show.
Sneaky, sneaky. Elle is clearly pumping me for information. Well, it's terrible sportsmanship to cut someone's dress, but I've never been one to play fair, Japan. Meow.
Interesting. Daijin's answers to my questions were considered and neutral. That tells me he was onto me straight away. I do think he's hiding something. He was one of the last queens to prepare for the talent show, and his station was right next to Esdeath's. He must know something, or he's responsible. He's high on my suspect list.
Tatsumi overhears the conversation and comes over to join L and Daijin. He asks them what they are talking about and L says he was commenting that he felt bad for Esdeath being sabotaged week 1. Tatsumi agreed, though says it would have been great if Esdeath had gone home week 1 as that would be one strong competitor out of the way.
Tatsumi, that's a suspicious response. Guess the heat will be off me for now.
Yeah, it's terrible that Esdeath was sabotaged, but her being here is not great for my game. Look, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. Yin and yang and yin, good coming from a bad circumstance, know what I mean? But yeah, no, of course, I hope Esdeath is not sabotaged a second time. I mean, it would be iconic though, wouldn't it?
Did you have anything to do with the sabotage?
No, of course not. I would never. I'm too good at drag, I don't need sabotage to win this competition.
Production tells the queens that it's almost time for the runway. Yuri pulls out his dress and puts it on. He asks Kuppa if she can help zip him up at the back. Kuppa says she is happy to help and she goes to zip him up but comments to Yuri that the zip is broken. Kuppa begins to panic and tries to pull the zip up and catches a thread on Yuri's dress, causing it to snag. Kuppa begins to panic further and Yuri asks what just happened. Kuppa says the zip is busted and she's accidentally unraveled part of his dress.
This can't be happening. It was fine this morning when I tried it on. Maybe I damaged the zip when I took it off this morning.
Yuri says that this can't be happening and production tells the queens it's time to go on stage. Yuri and Kuppa begin to panic, which causes a commotion in the workroom. Esdeath notices the commotion and goes over to investigate. She asks what is wrong and Yuri explains the situation. L overhears the exchange and comes over, inspecting the zip. He nods to himself but doesn't comment.
That zip has been tampered with. It's hanging on the dress by a thread, and it's clear most of it has been cut off. I'm guessing someone has sabotaged Yuri's dress. I decided not to say anything at that moment, because Yuri seemed genuinely distressed.
Esdeath looks to L, reads his expression and then looks back at the zipper. She tells Yuri to take the dress off and she will fix the zipper for him. Yuri looks at her, perplexed, and she insists he take the dress off if he wants her to fix the zip. Production tells the queens they need to go on stage now and Esdeath fires back that they need 10 more minutes. Production says that Yu-Gi-Oh and Ash are waiting for the queens and Esdeath says the extra 10 minutes wasn't a request. She gets to work immediately and reattaches the zipper.
Look, I may be a cold bitch, but that doesn't mean I don't play fair. Looking at L, I knew he suspected Yuri's dress had been sabotaged, and I wasn't about to let Yuri go on stage and flop the runway because someone tried to mess with his dress. So, yes, I did the fair thing and helped him fix his dress. Production was annoyed with me, but I don't care.
The queens head to the runway.
Welcome to the main stage of Cartoon Drag Race Japan. I'm Mew, your guest star from the House of Astral Glam. Ash, thanks for inviting me to guest judge.
The pleasure is ours. Mew, do you think we'll see you for season 2?
Ash, after seeing Mewtwo's ad, I might need to compete to redeem the House of Astral Glam.
Shady, we love it.
Now Yu-Gi-Oh, I have a joke for you. What's a psychic Pokemon's favourite thing to fondle?
Oh gosh, what is it?
They're cyballs.
Oh my.
This week, Queens produced an ad to sell a common household item, and runway category is Night of 1,000 Geishas. Queens, good luck and don't fuck it up.
Kay, Aomin, Yuri, Esdeath, Daijin and Elle had a great performance.
I'm really pleased. I came onto the show feeling a bit defeated due to personal experiences at home, but thanks to Aomin, I am in the top. It feels nice to have done well.
Mewtwo, Olivier, Tatsumi, Junta and Yurio had a good performance.
Watching our ad back, it wasn't terrible. We just had no chemistry. I'm really disappointed in myself. I know I can do better than this.
Watching our ad back, I'm so impressed. I was standing on stage saying my lines under my breath as I said them in the video. When I made that joke holding our Pokeball, that to be the best, you need to catch the best, I made yet another iconic remark. They'll absolutely be talking about this performance for seasons to come.
Koopa had a bad performance.
Our commercial certainly wasn't the best. It was cohesive, just not very funny. I could tell Mew wanted to laugh, and we got the odd chuckle, but I am worried I will be in the bottom.
Aomin and Mewtwo slayed the runway.
Geisha. I hardly know her. But you all know Mewtwo will bring it to the runway. Serving psychic serenity, telekinetic tea, and a silhouette sharper than my katana fan, this geisha doesn't just paint faces, she paints destinies. This should save me from the train wreck that was my ad with Olivier.
A stroke of a brush, a flick of the wrist, and the game is already won. Tonight, the court is my runway, and I'm painting the town Aomin blue.
General Esdeath, Yuri, Elle, Daijin, Tatsumi and Junta had a great runway. Kay, Olivier, Yurio and Koopa had a good runway. Queens, good work again this week. We've made some decisions. Even though you worked in teams, tonight you will be judged individually. Junta, Tatsumi, Daijin, Yuri, Elle and Olivier. You're safe.
Esdeath, you clearly know what you're doing. Junta is a natural actor and you managed to outshine him.
Kisses Junta. Better luck next time.
That means Aomin and Kay. Congratulations, you are the winning pair of the week.
Hell yes.
But Aomin, you really slayed this entire episode. Congratulations, you're the winner of this week's episode. Kay, keep it up, we loved your work this week.
Hell yeah. And to be up here with Kay, my heart is full. He deserved it. I wish it could have been a joint win, but I'll take it.
That means Yurio, Koopa and Mewtwo, you are the bottom queens. Mewtwo, we have no idea what happened this week. All I can say is keep your personal feelings aside if you want to do well in this competition. Your runway saved you this week. Don't let us see you falter like that again.
This was a bad week. And to flop in front of Mew, I need to bring my A game next week.
That means Koopa, Yurio, I'm sorry my dears, you're both up for elimination.
I guess we get the chance to settle the score. A shame. I didn't mind working with Yellow Dinosaur this week.
Oh no! Well, I guess I have to lip sync as best I can. Yurio's lip sync was fierce last week, so I'll have to bring it.
Queens, this week you were asked to prepare a lip sync song to Moonlight Densetsu, the theme song to the Sailor Moon tour. Good luck and, please, don't fuck it up. Yurio had a great lip sync. Koopa had a good lip sync.
Wow, Queens, that was good. You showed us you wanted to stay. Yu-Gi-Oh and I will now confer. Queens, we've made our decision. Care to do the honors, Yu-Gi-Oh?
Thanks, Ash. The queen we've decided to save is Yurio. Shantae, you stay. But if we see you in the bottom two again next week, don't even bother lip syncing.
Message received, Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll pull it together.
Our sweet Koopa. You may not have won this race, but don't worry. True queens always find a way to come out of their shell. You did us proud. For now, sashay away.
I came, I served, I shelled the house down. Now, who's got a warp pipe out of here?
Koopa gives the queens a bow and leaves the stage. The queens relax and begin moving to Untucked. Before they can leave the stage, Ash interrupts.
Queens, this week there will be no Untucked. We have an important announcement to make, so please remain on the stage.
Uh-oh, what's going on?
Is this about the sabotage?
Something big has happened that will change the course of this franchise. It has been brought to our attention that